Late again. Got ya. Hey, anyway, you know it's gonna be late, so that's not even new. Well, it got me a nice little shave up. You know, it's nice. I like it. Like I said, I'm not the typical. I'm not your typical Hollywood kind of. You know, you know what I'm saying. So just ride with the tide, hang in it. You know, just enjoy yourself. Again, my name is Taz, East, West, North, and South. This is our time to hang out and just be yourself and just relax for a minute and enjoy the ride. Enjoy the story. And while I'm getting my stuff ready, like always, you know what to do. You know what? Yeah, I want to get in trouble. So, you know what to do. You know what I mean? All right. So, man, I'm telling you, like, trying to, I'm creating my outlines, and 99% of the times, my outlines are still not. I don't work on my outlines, and I'm really working on it. But some odd reason, like I just don't work on it good enough. But anyway, I got lots of good stuff for us. So just hang out and sit back and get ready for the story. Make yourself comfortable. Get you some water, I don't know what you like to drink. Wine, water, fruit drink. I don't know. Just something that makes you relax and just enjoy the moment. So we can go on this journey together and man, and have a good time. So East, West, North, and South. Welcome to our time. Again, my name is Taz, and you know how we do. This is our hangout time that we just hang out and have fun and just relax, enjoy the story, and you know, and just uh, just get yourself acquainted with the core next door. You know, it's the whole core family. So just while I get my stuff together, because you know I'm never having my stuff like ready. You should be aware of that by now. You know, like man, he's never gonna have it together. And I'm like, I am pretty sure I'm gonna have it together. And you'll be like, no, you're never gonna have it together. I'm like, yep, I am gonna have it together. Anyway, so I hope everyone's been doing good. I hope everyone having out getting ready for Christmas. And man, it's a time of year. It's just so awesome. I love that time of year. It's just it's just nice to see everyone coming together and everyone shopping. And besides, like there's a little bad news, for the economy when it comes on to like the market system. Possible they're gonna, it's gonna be changed just a little bit. So I hope everyone out there is doing really good when it comes down to the market system. Just be careful, you know how it is at this time of the year to just want to be very careful with your investment, and furthermore, just be cautious. It's a risky time, and put the money aside a little bit, and then look forward to Christmas so you can hang out with your family and friends. And I'm like I always says, like I always say, your parents, your grandparents, and everyone is there. Is waiting for you to come from wherever you are across the world. You left them for a long time, 12 months, 6 months, I don't know. But what I've got today is a bit different. This one is called The Brave Ones. You know, the brave ones, like the brave ones. And why I say this is the brave ones today is because it's just the different challenges many we immigrants deal with and go through. And so I consider all of us, as the brave ones, because now when you look at it from this perspective, say a family or a mom and a dad, or just a child, whatever, and they decide to venture out into the United States, or they decide to venture into a different country, a different world, and they don't know what on earth they're going to be faced with. They don't know the challenges that they're going to be thrown across them. So why I label or consider this as the brave ones, because it has to take a brave soul to enter into a foreign land, a foreign country, and not knowing what the days are gonna be like. And so now you have to wonder, is this fate that our hope once they arrive that guides each day for that person or that family or that one? Is that fate? Because there's no steady, or there's no label of what the following day is going to be for this immigrant or these immigrants, whether it's a family or just one person, an immigrant. There's no set way of how their days and weeks are going to be played out, but their mind are not focused on that at that very minute. So my question is to you, and I want to hear what is your thoughts about that. Is your thoughts about on it is based on is your thoughts based on about it is really based on, is that faith that guides them day after day, or is the willingness of the heart? But at the end of the day, the willingness of the heart, not only it has to be driven by some higher desire than just the willingness of the heart to venture into a new land, a new world, and and get accustomed to the new days, the way of food, the life, the lifestyle, and the culture. So that's why I refer to them as the brave ones, and not we all are immigrants. So this is a of how we are a generalization of how we are the brave ones that venture into a land that we have no idea. There's not a manual for how each day or the week or the month will play out. We just assume, or we just go with the day and the following day and see what happens. But what is it that you think drives yourself as an immigrant each day to get through the next day and the next day and the other day and get through a whole week? Now, the first week of an immigrant is pretty much the toughest week. Maybe the first day is a bit challenging. The second day is also a bit challenging. But the first week, can you imagine how much they had to absorb to learn and just to grasp, to prepare themselves for the following week? So I would think for the brave ones, the first week is the most challenging week of all, because the first week is what laid the foundation down for the following weeks and years and months to come. So I want to know what your thoughts are as an immigrant. I want you to express yourself on the social media about your first week. What were your first week like? And what was your first day like? And express the environment that you were coming from that made you want to change your country or change the land, or what gave you the idea that coming to this land would you would reach or attain that goal that you desire. And for everyone who ventured out into a new land had to have some kind of high expectation possible of themselves, or trying to reach a higher goal, or trying to take themselves to a next level in life. There was something else. I used to watch Colin Powell, and Colin Powell, and when I listened to him speak, and I am pretty sure his mom or his dad is a Jamaican, and I was asking myself, what work did his parents has to go through, had gone through to had make Colin Powell to reach the highest levels in 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 the political system that he reached, and what was the challenge for his mom and his dad, and what were their expectations. They were also the brave ones that took a chance to this new world, this new culture, this new environment, and to raise, to bring forth a child like that that would make it as far as he did. But again, like I said, I consider the immigrants the brave ones, and I am not just I'm not just saying this is a generalization of everyone, because we are all immigrants. So it took us the it took us so much to get us here. And like I said before, the first week is possible the most challengingest time for every immigrant. So I want you to think back, what were your first week like as an immigrant, and what did you feel like, and how did you feel about your first week? How did you feel? What were your challenges for your first week? Was it the culture? Was it the language? What challenge did you have for the first week? Was it the food? And how much time did you need before you could get steady on a steady track to sort out the rest of your time while you were here? Because I'm pretty sure my first week was a challenging week, but I was open to absorb. I don't know what about your first week. What was like? Was you ready to absorb? Were you still going through a different kind of state of mind with the balancing of where you're coming from or where you're going? Because it takes a brave person to pick up their stuff and their belongings and venture out into a new world, not knowing if they're really going to reach or if they will make it. Many lives have lost trying to venture into this world. I am not kidding you. You have to really think about it. And there's immigrants out there that know loved ones right next to them that are trying to enter into a new world, a new land, with a new culture, and did not make it, lost their lives as well. And there is a lot of stories like that to be told. There's a lot of kids probably like that, seeing situation like these happening as they are venturing with their bags or with their bare hands or whatever they had, what kind of um, luggage they took with them, or some people didn't take any luggage or whatever. But I'm pretty sure there's stories, unbelievable stories of, just imagine if you leave with a friend or a family member or just a neighbor, and you're entering into a new land, and along the journey, something untimely that happened, something happened to you, lose your neighbor, and you have to continue that journey. Now tell me if that's not a brave one, that to survive, to make it here. I mean, the story is endless if you really think about it. There's a lot of story like that that we don't really know, and we have no idea about. I mean, just imagine you have to just continue the journey, and not only watching but seeing your neighbor or your friend that you're on this journey with, just laying there, or just, I mean, that story is just unbelievable, and I'm pretty sure there's stories out there like that. It's just not have been discovered. A lot of us just haven't heard it before. I mean, what if you're on a boat coming and the boat sink, and only who can swim survive? I mean, and those everyone on the boat must have made some kind of eye contact, face recognition, and all of this just happened, and you have to continue on with this journey. That's why I consider you as the brave one, as the brave one to survive this journey, to enter into this, and not only the journey was so intense, and you needed to survive it. After surviving the loss of someone along the way, then coming into a new world, and your first challenging week of adapting the culture, not knowing where you're going to stay, not knowing where you're going to live, not knowing what you're going to eat, because you're definitely not going to eat the same food you were eating at your home a couple months ago. That's, I had to put that one in there. So it's unbelievable, and so I see these people as the brave ones. I mean, just imagine, it's the same thing with the Mayflower coming over here. You know, how much men have lost their life coming. Some of those stories we really don't know, but I am pretty sure it's just one of those stories that we won't get to, and we won't really know. Just like some of the stories I'm saying that I've talked about, a family or a loved one, or a couple of friends just venturing into this new world and have to continue with their friend not making it here with them, or wherever they decided to the world that they decided they wanted to venture in, or the country that they decided that they figured that they would possibly reach their peak, or they would build a life or start a new life. So just imagine how challenging that is for an immigrant. And I want to tell you, in the first 6 months, I think an immigrant has to work twice as hard as anyone, or maybe the first year, I think they have to work twice as hard as anyone. It's not something that would be recognized or be put on a chart, but it's just the reality of life for an immigrant. The first year is continuous working, is tireless, working tirelessly just to adjust to make ends meet. And it gets better as the years go by. But just imagine what they have to go through the very first year. You got to do immigration system. You have to learn how the country operates, and you got to learn about the laws, and you got to learn all the different steps and stages. So now you've got so much different sectors or different areas that you have to adapt to in the first month. So first you have to figure out the culture, the food, and then within that process, with the job and the transportation system, and then you also have to work out, figure out your immigration status, and how would you sort that kind of situation out. So that's why I consider them as one of the brave ones. And one of the real story is, once you lost your friend along the way, or your family member, and you enter into a new country, there's nothing else would be more can stop you, because you're hurting so bad already that this comes like nothing possible. I don't know. I'm just saying these people are the brave ones, and I consider them as the brave ones. So, if you know an immigrant, and if you know someone that's coming from somewhere, came from somewhere, if you know that person, ask them their story. Ask them to open up a little bit, I guess. If they've lost any friends along the way, and why you would think I would consider them as the brave ones. They're just extremely brave, because to take everything you've got, and invest everything you have into another world, another culture, it takes a lot to restart again, to rebuild again from scratch, with a new language, with a new culture, with a new family, with a new soul, a new way of life. Have to be has to be the brave one. Anyway, what is your thoughts? If you're an immigrant, what are your thoughts? What was your struggle? What was the hardest time for you here? You know, resilience. What kept you going? What was your first challenge? What was the first barrier that you had? What was the first obstacle that you had to jump over? And as I think, as an immigrant, there is no obstacle. Everything is just flat once you've gone through, and once you come through the gate, it feels like everything is just downhill from here. But it's a different kind of obstacle. Once you get here, it's a different kind of challenge. A challenge is still here, but it's just different from what you're accustomed to. If you're accustomed to an economical challenge, here it's that here it's wherever the new land that you go to would be a different form of challenge. Not necessarily economic, but it could be culture, it could be religion, it could be all sort of different thing. But what I want to know, what made you kept fighting? What got you through the first week? Was it the money? And what kind of soul or what kind of spiritualness did you have to guide you? Was it just hope, or was it something greater than hope that kept you going, get you through your first week as an immigrant, as a brave one? What did it? Was it the family that you left behind, or was it the friend that you lost along the way? So many different kind of there's so many different kind of uh, tools can drive you forward, but what tool did it take to drive you forward? What force did you rely on to get you through the first week, to get you through the first day? What tool did you have to pull out of your toolbox to engage in the turning of this, the turn to turn it in a way to where you could get through, not benefit, but just to get you through that first day, to get you through that first week, and to get you through that first month. How was it for you to adapt to the new culture? How was it for you to adapt to the new food? How was it for you to adapt to the people? How was it for you to adapt to the new way of life? How was it? Express yourself, open up. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people, like, you can be traveling from 18 hours or 15 hours across the world to come to a new land with a new culture. That takes character. That takes that takes courage, because you know the first day when you land on the soil in this different land, and you scoop the soil out or you look at the soil, you won't know if this soil will be good for you or not. You don't know if your system will able to digest what's in this soil. You don't know if you will able to survive in this new world. You've seen many across the cities, many cities. You've seen many brave souls that come and enter into many cities, and it's a challenge for them, because what they see on TV, it's when they come here, or the new world, the world that they choose, when reality sets in, it's a different story for them. But they can't turn back. They just have to keep on fighting the life of the brave one. So when you see, like I said, when you see an immigrant, we all are immigrant. What was their first day like? What were their first week like? What was their first month like? And what was their first year like? You know, when sometimes I see all these different players go overseas to play in different competition and different camps and different games. And I often wonder to myself, what was their first day like in a new camp with new people that speak different languages? What was their first week like? What was it like for them to make friends? What did they have to go through? What they had to suffer through? What they what kept them going? It's that's the real question, is what kept them going? What kept them moving forward? It's definitely not the food. I'm kidding. I had to put that one in there. But it could be in the food. Anyway, but my thoughts are, what kept them going? Was it a friend? Was it their spirit, or was it something inside their heart, or something in their soul, or something else beyond what's their physical means? Was it the strength of missing their real culture, or what are yours? So if you have the time, express yourself, put it on the media, you know, share a story, find out, how did someone from Poland, what was their story, or Germany, across the world. What was their story like? Entering into a new world, entering into a new land with a new culture on their very first day, not knowing where they're going to sleep, not knowing what they're going to eat, not knowing who is going to be their friends and what kind of friends they're going to have, and not knowing if they're going to make it. But as a brave one, it's here for you. It's there for you to take. And you just have to fight hard for it. And you have to go in your toolbox and figure out which one of the tools will work best. And you just have to keep turning. I'm not here to fool you up with the star is beautiful and the sunlight is pretty. The journey, it's a journey, and I guess that's why it's called a journey, because it's have the truest reasoning of life. It will be joy and it will be pain also. So, as a brave one, what's your story? How did you get to your first day? How did you get to your first week? What kept you going? What drive? What kind of force was it? Spiritually, was it spirituality, or was it just the determination of reaching that goal or attaining that goal that you have inside? And what made you decide to leave your land to come to another land to seek the opportunity, or to was it you was it something of a higher understanding, or was it something else that you feel, or a desire that you have inside, that you know you can go out and conquer something and make it yours? What is your story? What gives you the drive? What pushes you forward? And it's the same thing that pushes you forward as a brave one. It's the same thing that will take you there. They say whatever you think is what you become. Now I want to ask you this question. Are you becoming what you think when you head on that journey? When you decide to leave, when you decide to venture into a new world, what was you thinking? Because whatever you were thinking, that's exactly what happened. Now I have to ask myself, if one day I become a star, say one day I become famous, and I have to ask myself, will they treat me as a normal star? Will they treat me as a celebrity? Will I get picked on? What would be my, if I should venture in that state of celebrity world? I have to ask myself, what kind of world is that? And is it the same kind of world of the poor class, or the middle class, or the rich class? Is that a separate world when you become famous? When you become an idol, when you become an iconic person, how are you treated? Are you still is still there a lot of resentment? Or is there a lot of happiness? Or I often ask myself, for about the millions of stars in Hollywood and what they go through on a daily, what is their daily life like, with going up and down with pictures, and they have to be careful what they say and what they eat and what they speak. So I have to ask myself, how would I be treated? Not growing up with the big picket fence or the big mansion or the old 9 yards, just a normal regular person like myself. How, I wonder, how would I be treated? I mean, if you're a brave one, you have to ask yourself that question. If you decide to come to a new world like this, a challenging world like this, we hear the opportunities here, but it's a fight, and it's fight. And the funny thing about this fight, it gets even more intense. Each year passes, and each year go by. It's getting greater and greater, and the challenges are way different. It's kind of like the soccer, the games that used to play. The players used to be slow. Now every players are fast. Everyone is quick, and the coaching body and everything is just to the next level. But if you are a brave one and you decide to venture into this world, the same thing that got you here is the same thing that will take you to the top. I just want to make you have an understanding of that. The same kind of force that got you here on the journey, that's the same kind of force will take you straight to whatever you're thinking, because they say whatever you think is whatever is what you become. When you look at a teacher, that's what the teacher was thinking. She wanted to become a teacher. But sometimes I often think that circumstances have a lot to do with the situation, because sometimes people go to college to be a teacher and they become something else, a social worker. Was a social worker thinking that she wanted to become a social worker? Was a fireman thinking, this is what I want to do? Or was there circumstances in the way? Some of those are some of the real stories that we have to hear also. Was a policeman was thinking, this is what I want to be, is a policeman? Or was there some kind of circumstances that happened, that ventured, that just throw everything a bit off course, and now this is what it is? Now, do you wallow in it or do you resent it? Now, those are the questions. The guy who work on Wall Street, was that his intention? The guy who has a auto shop, or runs a little store, was that their intention, or is it circumstances? So you have the intention and then you have circumstances. So the intention with the truest reason of life is joy mixed with pain. Was the pain the circumstances? Which one would you clarify that? Was it the circumstances? Was that joy? Or was the circumstance the pain? And from the pain, it puts you in a position that you become something that you weren't really thinking about becoming. This happens throughout all the different fields of the workforce, whether you're a lawyer, doctor. I am pretty sure there's some kind of circumstances within each one's life that change the road and the direction and the avenue that they're on. I am pretty sure their stories are not the stories that you would hear every day. Uh, Only the family knows that story. Only their loved ones know that story. Possibly their kids. I don't know. But circumstances. What was the circumstances that changed to change the direction of what they love or what they liked or the direction they were heading? Maybe what they were venturing for wasn't for them. What are your thoughts? How do you see this? I am pretty sure you have a story. How will you write your story? But remember this Christmas, every quarter is different. Which quarter is yours? Get out there. What quarter is yours? Let's take it down a little bit. What quarter is yours? Remember, write something about the quarters. Write a poem about each quarter. See how it feels. See if it fits in your life. See if it'll make you laugh. See if you write something funny. I'm pretty sure that 10, if we do a survey of 100 people writing something for every quarter that they like, it'd be hilarious to read some of it, the things that would be there, because there'd be 100 different characters writing something, some kind of poem for each quarter. And you could tell which quarter possibly be their favorite quarter, because that's where the most humor or the more intense feelings of theirs would come out, would perspire through the ink, through the pen. I don't know. But this Christmas, share your quarter with your parents, with your grandmother. If there's a quarter that you think that you like more than the others, and if you would write something about each quarter, what would you write? I'm pretty sure everyone would have something really unique. Everyone would have something really special. And if you trade that with your partner or your loved one, somebody you love, you share that with them about each quarter, what your thoughts on each quarters are. Now, nothing intense, something more relaxing, something that's got humor, something that can linger. in someone's mind, and they can remember you for saying this that quarter. Or they can talk about it, or something that they can share with someone else that will be of some use. Share these poems or these story about your quarter with your other half. That's funny. You share 4 quarter with your half. That's a good one. But write something down about each quarter and see if you like it yourself. See what you think about it in person. I mean, the lawyer will have something separate to say. The nurse would have something totally separate, different from what the lawyer would have to say. The fireman, the doctor, the police, everyone in their core would have a total different reasoning of their 4 quarter. I couldn't imagine what people work out there in the cold or in the out there in nature, what their perspective would be. Would they have a more spiritual perspective about the 4 quarter than somebody that works indoor, somebody that works in a shop, than somebody who does landscaping? Sometimes you would think the words that would need to explain for the person who does the landscaping paper, the words could not mature, but they could express it in their work. They could express it in how they plant a garden. I am pretty sure each person would have different things to say about each quarter. And like I said, it would go right back to the guy, the worker that work outdoor, besides the ones that works inside. Now that's why I want to take you on this journey, so you can, when you get done, you can close the combustion chamber and venture out into the world, a spiritualness, into the world of holiness, where you can make the connection back to life itself. And wait till you get into that world before you start writing about your quarter. And see if that would be a difference. If you write about your quarter while you're in the combustion chamber, it might have totally different meaning. But if you can excuse your mind and excuse your thoughts and excuse yourself and wait and go out into the pasture where it's green, and then write your story about the quarter, there'll be absolutely two different. It'll be two different thoughts. That's why often I think people write books. Sometimes they have to go to certain places, I think. And I also think it's based on the day that they generate the ideas. And I think it's also on the thoughts on the different days, and a different time of day also. So many of the books that's there is written, I often wonder what day were they having when they worked right the first page. And if they were having a blissful day, that would go in hand with the words and the way they saw things. But if it wasn't a blissful day, what could have changed in that book? Stuff like that we won't know. We'll have to ask the writer by himself. But I am pretty sure it's just like in the combustion chamber. If you choose to write your quarter while you're in the combustion chamber, it's definitely not going to be as good as if you can excuse yourself, your mind, or your thoughts to enter into somewhere that's more pure and genuine. Somewhere there is tranquility. Somewhere there is calm and peace and quietness. And then write your quarter and share it with your loved one. Share it with someone that you care about. Let them read it and you read theirs, and see what your thoughts are and see how you can compare. That's a way of bringing each person closer together. I'm pretty sure this will cut the divorce rate. Get it? I just had to do that one. I had to throw that one in. Come on. You know, I had to throw that one. Divorce rate we go, don't pay them. I'm pretty sure. It'd be making a connection in a different way. It'd be opening up a new gate, a new door to make a connection with a stronger bond. We'll put some of the pastors out of business. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm just kidding. Just kidding with that one. But but you know, but it opened up a new gate, a new world, and just imagine the new world that would open up. And these two souls are two brave souls from a different land. You know, imagine someone, two different ethnic group getting married in a culture that they have no idea about. That they both came from so totally different background. You can imagine the eclipse. You can imagine what kind of braveness it would take to make a connection like that work and a force like that to connect together. I'm really putting it out there for you today to really connect that way. Just really connect like that. What requirements would it take for such bond to what would be the challenges for such connection to be made? But two brave souls. It's like you said, we all immigrants, so we all are brave souls. But as we move closer to this Christmas, please take the time out to write something about each quarter. Sometimes I may not get to do it, but I'll do it. But I'm pretty sure that you can do it. And when I do mine, it might take me forever, but I'll get mine done. But when you do yours, share it with your mate, share it with your loved one, share it with your other half. See what their thoughts are, what their feelings are. Now we're making a deeper connection than the regular connection that would be just there. Now we're going in for something more deep to bonding, a bonding that would now this bonding is based also not just on the kid's life or just on food or money. This is more of a love, a feeling of what we have here for free, life itself and nature. So it's like you bonding nature together from both parties. Like you're understanding what time of year this person like. If she likes spring or that person likes winter, you need to get her a lot of coats in the winter time. I had to do that one today. I'm kidding with that one. I had to do that. That was just funny. Well, I'm just saying, it's a connection that can just be made deeper, a deeper kind of connection. You guys, it can bond more than just the regular connection that was there, whatever it was just for money or just because of family benefit or just for one person benefit. I often think like there's when two souls get together, uh, there's two forces. There's one force right here and the next force right here. And when that comes by, there's only one force that survive. And I'm pretty sure you possibly know what I'm talking about. But I have just discovered that when two forces get together and say only one force, I don't think it's split down the middle 50-50. I think there's only one force survive. But then what can happen? There can be a third force because some of this force that was here and some of this force becomes combined to create a third force. Impossible. It's how a relationship will survive because the third force has to do with sacrifice and giving and love. But I don't know. My name is Taz, and I have to go. Thank you so much. It's been a lovely afternoon. It's been a lovely ride. I hope everyone is relaxed. I hope everyone had a good time. And we are the brave ones, like I said. Thank you. Love you guys. To the core. Want more? Time to go. To the core. Love the family. Gotta get out of here. Thank you guys.